Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on this YouTube channel. We've got round 5. No, we haven't. We've got round 6 of the Vision Formula 1 League, which is around Brno in the Czech Republic. So it's a track that isn't usually on the Formula 1 calendar, so it's an interesting one. Took quite a lot of practice from myself as I've never driven it before, so it makes it a bit more challenging, a bit more interesting. But yeah, if you haven't watched round 5, if you want to go and check that out, I'll leave a link to that in the top corner of the screen as usual. It's definitely worth a watch and good context for this video. Fortunately, it was a bit of a low turnout for this round. It was only 6 of us, but it was still a great race either way from the top 3 and further back. So if you want to stick around at the end, it gets a bit interesting. So that'll be much appreciated. And just before we delve in as well, there was a little bit of a technical fault when recording / editing this video. There isn't actually any gameplay back in track. Whoops. I'll put some audio in there anyway, and hope you guys still enjoy it nevertheless. As usual, we will jump into qualifying for our quickest lap, and then we will go through the race highlights, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. I hope you enjoy. So okay guys, let's jump on board for our fastest lap in this qualifying session. I'll pop up a picture of the driver standings after round 5, so you guys have got an idea going into this race of where we're at, and the constructors we are leading yet again quite nicely. It's kind of ours to lose at this point. So yeah, I'll not go super in detail in this lap. I'll just let you guys kind of watch along, and I'll explain bits here and there, but it's mainly just about a quick explanation of how I got this car set up for this race, because it was a track that I'd not driven before, so it was quite tricky. So I actually used the Imola setup to base the give myself a base setup to work with. I only changed a couple of things. It was mainly the rear brake bias. Well, the brake bias, was more towards the rear to help the car rotate, especially through this section, the tricky middle section, as there was a lot of quick direction changes and off-camber corners that kind of required a lot more rear downforce. So I did actually end up putting a few more clicks on the rear, and then, like I say before, the brake bias was more towards the rear. So yeah, heading towards the end of the middle sector and the start of the third sector, we're kind of level with our PB, so it's not a great lap so far. As we approach turn 11 and 12, this turn 11 was a nightmare, so I had to let off the brake really early, as the weight transfer in the car, if I held the brakes for too long, the rear would just come around. So yeah, it was kind of just had to plant it and hope. We actually found some nice time back towards the end of the lap, so we're about 2.5 tenths up now on our PB. So as we come across the line, it's nearly 3 tenths, which gives us a time of a 25.562, which puts us P3 for the race. So let's jump into that. I hope you guys enjoyed the lap and enjoy the race. 12 laps, I should say. That's 10 laps is easy, 12 laps is... fair enough. Is it actually going to shift? Yeah.
I forgot he was there.
This is probably where you guys just run off to the distance. So yeah, let's jump in. We're now halfway through lap 1. Nothing's really happened. We haven't really had too many moments of opportunity. We're kind of just hanging on to the back of Vanotti here and our teammate, who's kind of started well. He's pulling us both along. I think we're just kind of making sure, like most of our lap 1s these days, just try not to get tangled up in any incidents and try not to make any mistakes, and just sort of seeing how our pace brings us into this race. And we're getting towards the tricky section of sort of turn 10, 11 and 12. I say a tricky section, most of this track is quite tricky. But as you'll notice, Vanotti has a bit of a moment going into turn 11, and we did think about maybe he's giving it a cheeky send around the outside, but
it looked like he was going to slide and then come across the front of me, so I literally just had to stop.
Yeah, as you heard me say there, I kind of just took the safe route and just backed off and didn't want to get, like I say, tangled up. My teammates actually took this chance to kind of break off a little bit, which I think is another reason why I didn't want to fight too hard, as I did want us all to kind of stay together. And, you know, if I was going to make a move, I wanted it to be quite solidified so that I could also get our teammate to pull us along. So yeah, we jumped to lap 8 now. We're kind of stuck in the same position. We've formed our own little DRS train really on this track, and it was a bit of a nightmare. There wasn't too many opportunities floating about for overtakes at the moment anyway. So we were just kind of like keeping our head down, trying not to make too many mistakes as we make our first major mistake really. It kind of drops us out of the DRS of Venotti, which is not ideal. As I was saying before, if we're going to have any sort of opportunities, it'll be, through just staying consistent and waiting for maybe a mistake from the guys ahead, and hopefully not from ourselves as we just seen. So now we're just sort of fighting back, pushing on, trying to get back into that DRS, as we're it worked out nicely in a weird way. So we dropped back, which meant that we weren't then stuck in the dirty air, and it just kind of gave us an insight to what our pace could maybe have been like if we were running at the front, as it almost, without pushing too hard, became quite nearly easy to get back into that DRS, as we're kind of within the second now, as I'll quickly zoom in and show you, and which means we are actually, I think, just about...
I was 1,000th then.
Yeah, 1,000th of a second in, which is very touch and go. So very happy that we didn't lose touch, otherwise it would have been a very lonely race for us indeed, as we are now going to jump ahead to lap 9, so not too far ahead. So yeah, lap 9, Venotti actually dives into the pits to get rid of those C3 tyres to put on the C1s. We weren't sure, well I wasn't sure anyway, whether or not he was going to be pitting that lap anyway, or whether he was pit to try and undercut us. My front left tyre, as I'll show you now as I zoom in, isn't actually doing too bad, so I think we're going to stay out for another couple laps and sort of see where Venotti comes back out. As we jump now to the end of lap 10, we've actually lost DRS to our teammate, which isn't great.
Didn't get it.
And I was annoying for myself because I couldn't just expect my teammate to slow down to pull us back in. But as we jump forward to the middle of lap 11, our teammates' tyres are actually falling off quite a lot, which means that it's pulled us straight back into the DRS.
Hey man, my tyres just died.
As you can hear him say, his tyres pretty much just fell off a cliff. And ours weren't too much better, but
front left's dead pretty much.
I think ours kind of died and we got past that stage or that phase of them being really bad and they started to feel okay again. But we've actually got really close to our teammate at this point, but I think we both were planning on boxing this lap anyway, so I was never really going to try anything, I wasn't going to look to overtake or anything silly like that.
Kilometers an hour, bang on.
Nice.
So yeah, let's jump to the pit exit now of lap 12. As you can see on the left hand side of the screen, Venotti does get through into the lead of this race. See, the undercut did work quite nicely for him, so we are going to be pretty much on the chase now. As you'll hear in a second, we do ask what the gap is.
What's the gap?
1.5.
So yeah, 1.5 seconds. It's not too bad. I think we can definitely pull that back in. Our teammates definitely got the pace for that, so we're just going to kind of try and hang on to the back of them. And the teammate actually says he seems to be struggling, as I believe he's pushing on as hard as he can to get away from us. Now that there is no DRS, he's going to just try and keep eking that gap out. As we jump to lap 14 now. So we spent a couple laps just trying to drag ourselves back into Venotti's DRS. As I asked our teammate there if he's back in, as we are getting closer and closer. And as we come across the line to start lap 15 of this race, he does in fact get back in his DRS, as we are also haven't fell too far behind and or also dragged back into the DRS, so that works out quite nicely. But as I explained before, it's going to be tough because it is not a great track for overtaking and it does favour the DRS train, so we're not too confident in terms of going for any moves. I think we'll probably wait for our teammate to jump first and sort of see if we can pick up any of the pieces.
I'm sweating my tits off, man.
So yeah, as you can hear, it was quite a hot day. Yeah, it must have easily been 30 degrees in my room, and I think it was starting to get to a few of us. As you can see, it was a back marker making a mistake, spinning out, and I think a lot of us were starting to lose a little bit of concentration and just trying to get towards the end of this race and seeing who trips up first at this point. As we jump towards the end of lap 19, we take the last corner a bit too early.
Rough bounce over the curve for me.
Make a little bit of a mistake, but luckily nothing too bad came of it. So yeah, we were all sort of starting to get a bit too hot and bothered, and we're just kind of seeing who's gonna jump first, who's either gonna make the first mistake or who's gonna go for the first move. As our teammate actually now looks to the outside of Vanotti, tries to go for a send, almost makes contact, but they do leave each other a sufficient amount of racing room, as it does then also pull us straight back into play as we are getting closer and closer. But I don't think we're gonna, with it being our teammate, I don't think we really want to be sending it in there and trying to get involved. As we jump to lap 21 out of 27 in this race, and we are still annoyingly sat in P3. We do actually want to progress, but we are just sort of like waiting to see if our teammate can get the move done, as we both actually run wide on the exit turn 1 onto the grass, but our teammate somehow just gets mega over speed and isn't hindered by that at all. So he goes for another send around the outside of Vanotti, and this time it does look like he is going to make it stick, as he's got the inside into the next corner, and is also just going to park his car basically in the middle of the track and make sure that Vanotti hasn't got another sniff of getting the place back. So yeah, our teammate's got the move done, which means he now sits in P1 for this race, and we're going to have another look at that overtake from another perspective for you guys, so I hope you enjoy. So yeah, let's jump back on board then. So at this point now, I'm kind of just pretty much going to try and capitalize on whether or not Vanotti's maybe he's been shaken by that overtake, and whether or not I can hopefully expect him to make a mistake with trying to push to get that position back. And as you see there, he does actually run really wide, heading down towards the end of the middle sector. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough of a mistake for us to capitalize on, but it's basically exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of in the spots where an overtake can't usually be done, just seeing if they can push him into making a mistake. As we're now going to jump towards lap 22 out of 27, and we're going to go for our first move of this race as we tuck into the slipstream, DRS wide open. We're going to go for a move around the outside into turn 1, which is quite ambitious, but we do actually make it stick, and we give each other enough racing room. It's good wheel-to-wheel action as he goes straight back into our slipstream, and annoyingly, we don't actually drive defensive, and there was a reason. I was hoping that maybe he would go really deep and that I would be able to just get him back on the switchback, but he gets us back really nicely and parks his car in the right position. So we're going to have another look at that with another highlight replay, so I hope you enjoy. Yeah, so unfortunately we didn't get that one done, but we are going to jump towards the end of lap 25, basically approaching the penultimate lap of this race. And it's not over yet. We are going to tuck back into Vanotti's slipstream and try and get another move done, as kind of running out of time at this point. And we are going to go up the inside this time into turn 1, but as you'll see, we get way too much on the curb and lose the car. And luckily we don't take both of us out of the race, as we're going to have another look at that for you guys and another replay. Yeah, so we're going to jump back in on the same lap 26 out of 27. We're going to go around turn 3 and turn 4, and as you'll notice, Vanotti runs quite wide on the exit turn 4 and completely loses the car in front of us. And yeah, after battling for the last sort of few laps, to then just be gifted the position in P2. Don't get me wrong, I was happy with it, but I just think it is a bit annoying and frustrating, especially for, I believe or not, he must be kicking himself as he was driving a solid race, and I think we were all driving like super consistently, so to then like lose out through a mistake like that must be so frustrating. I know I would be absolutely just livid with myself, but yeah, we're approaching the end of the race and I'm just laughing away to myself because at this point I am like really struggling to concentrate, and it sounds disgusting and I apologize for this, but I actually had a droplet of sweat come down onto the inside of my glasses lens, and I kind of like couldn't really see or concentrate on what I was doing, and I thought the last thing I need was to also make a mistake like what I did and just end up throwing it all away. As you see, I'm just running wide on nearly every corner, and I'm pretty much just begging for the finish line at this point, as it was just not an enjoyable race in terms of like I had the window open, I was trying to get air in, nothing I was doing was working. I just wanted to get across the line, get the race done, cool off, and just forget about it because I was just dead unhappy at the time. But yeah, come across the line in P2. We're dead happy with that. I think even though it was gifted, it was a solid race, a good little fight at the end. Not the most exciting one, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely didn't whilst driving. But yeah, I'll sign this video off with an outro, and I'll see you guys then. Kept trying to line up different views, but like, yeah, that is the end of that one. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. I definitely didn't. Yeah, it was a good result, but it was very hot, so it was a tough drive, but happy with the result nevertheless. A P2 and a P1 for our teammates, so another good strong finish for the team and the constructors, and another leap forward for us in P3 in the championship, so a bigger gap for P4 now, which is good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the race. I know it wasn't super exciting, but it was a good sort of end to it, and it'll be round 7 next, which is in the Nürburgring, not the Nordschleife, but just the GP track, of course. That will be too bonkers, but yeah, stay tuned for that one. I'll be posting that shortly. Hopefully won't be too long of a wait for that. And if you've liked this video, and like always, if you don't mind showing a bit of support, hit that like button, please subscribe, it would mean the world. And yeah, if you want to leave a comment, feel free. I'm open for ideas for more content, so I look forward to that, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys later. Ciao.